I welcome back all the participants from all over the world gathered here and all the participants gathered all over the world in different cities. Before entering into today's program, I wanted to announce the news. Sri 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 Balagangadharanatha Mahaswamiji, who inaugurated Nityananda Dhyanapitham 10 years ago, who was a great support, strength, godfather, elder brother for me, and the Nityananda Dhyanapitham is no more. We offer our sincere condolences to him, and on behalf of me and all the disciples of Dhyanapitham and on behalf of Dhyanapitham, I express heartfelt condolences, and we pray to the Almighty, the Divine, may his soul rest in peace. Tomorrow morning we will have the satsang, official condolence. I did not go because I committed to be with you all guys. I'll see how the situation is, and tomorrow morning we will decide. But he was a elder brother and strength. His native place is Bididi. This village where we are sitting, it's called Banandur. This is his native place. From the beginning, he was a amazing support for us. All right, let's enter into the program. Let me define integrity and authenticity once again. Life starts for you only with integrity. Understand? Till the integrity starts for you, you are a broken pieces, few bones, little flesh, assembled unfortunately, accidentally, and existing accidentally. That's the right word I'll use. Anybody without integrity, if he is not killed, it does not even get recorded in the cosmos. Of course, I'm not telling you go and kill. In the cosmos, it does not even get recorded as a sin. It means in the cosmos is not even respected. The numbering is not done. Registration is not done in the cosmos. He is not numbered in the cosmos. Great. Issue is resolved. I'll give you the essence. Life starts only when you have integrity. Integrity means you fulfilling the word and thought you give it to yourself and to others, and experiencing a state of completion, Purnatva, with the life. For example, this moment you should be complete with all the words you gave it to you and to others. So that even if the breath which is going inside, if it doesn't come out and just goes up, you are complete. You are complete. How many of you feel you are complete with all the words you gave it to yourself and to others? Because Yesterday I gave you the assignment of completing with yourself and others. How many of you did the assignment? Please raise your hand. Great. But if you do it once, that will not be enough. How many of you did not do? Raise your hand. Now I am giving you time. Oh God, but I cannot delay the session. Okay. In the next break, you will do it and come back. You have to sacrifice your break and do. How many of you feel the power of completion when you do? Really, so much of healing is happening inside. So understand, this is not a process which can be completed in one day. You need to go on and on at least for next 1 year. Decide this year is year of completion. Go on talking to mirror, to yourself. Go on talking to yourself through mirror. Go on completing with yourself and others. Authenticity means you being established and responding to life from who you believe yourself to be for yourself, means mamakara. Who you believe yourself to be for others, ahankara. And what others believe you to be for them, manyakara, anyakara. What others believe you to be for them, anyakara. Authenticity is you living to the peak of your capacity every moment of your life as per your understanding of the peak capacity and others' understanding of the peak capacity, peak possibility. Mamakara is who you believe and project yourself to be to the peak of your capacity for yourself as per your understanding of the peak of your capacity. Listen, only then you will understand. See, I am uploading all these videos, so all of you, I wanted you guys to see this again and again at least next few times, few days. Because these definitions are long British statements, almost like a legal statements. Unless you hear again and again, you will miss 1 or 2 words. You will miss 1 or 2 words. Listen, I am defining mamakara. Mamakara is who you believe and project yourself to be to the peak of your capacity for yourself as per your understanding of the peak of your capacity. Ahamkara is who you believe and project yourself to be to the peak of your capacity for others as per your understanding of the peak of your capacity. Anyakara is who others believe and project you to be to the peak of your capacity for them as per others' understanding of the peak of your capacity. So all of you are clear about these basic truths of intensity and integrity and authenticity. All cities, if you are clear about this basic two tattvas, please raise your hand. Great. If you are not clear, raise your hand so that I'll repeat once more and see to it you understand. Please listen. Integrity means fulfilling the words you gave it to yourself and to others, and living in a state of completion with life. For example, you give a word to others. I will give you $1 million or $1 million rupee. Either you have a clear integrity, you are going to give your whole life to fulfill that commitment, or call that person and tell, I will not be able to give, so I relieve myself from the commitment I made. That is also integrity. See, for example, I have committed with many of my disciples, I will give them enlightenment. I will ensure they achieve the state of enlightenment. So even if I leave this body, I am going to be sitting alive in the cosmos, in a different frequency, what I call Akshardhama, imperishable space. I am going to be sitting with many of my Jivan Mukta sannyasis. And I am going to fulfill my commitment with integrity and authenticity. So either you should have that clarity. I have committed with him, I will give $1 million. I should give everything and make it happen. Even in between I die, I will have to take another one body, come back and search for where he is and see to it he receives my $1 million. If you are not sure you want to do that, if you are clear you don't want to do that, then at least call him and complete with him. Sorry, I committed for $1 million, but I cannot do that. I have taken up some other as my prayer. Let's come back to the subject. Tucson. Authenticity means being established, responding to life from what you feel, what you believe yourself to be for yourself, and who you believe yourself to be for others, and what others believe you to be for them. Before entering into the session, just 3 minutes, settle down so that you are ready to flow with the session. Just close your eyes and sit straight. Close your eyes and sit straight. You don't need to meditate or chant or anything. Just close your eyes and sit. Relax. You can open your eyes. Now we will work on the throat center. till yesterday we were working on the heart center, means root, being, navel, heart. 4 centers we've worked. Today we will work on throat center. Throat center, Vishuddhi Chakra, is what we are going to work now. The thought current for the Vishuddhi Chakra is jealousy and comparison. Understand? When there is a non-alignment between the Anyakara, means the image you carry about others, and the image others carry about you, when there is a non-alignment between these two, it is called jealousy. I am defining, please catch it. Listen. When there is a non-alignment between what you feel, your image about others, and others' image about you. Anyakara is what you believe and project others to be for you as per your understanding of their peak capacity. Let me define. Anyakara means what you believe as others and their peak capacity, and what others believe as you and your peak capacity. When there is a non-alignment between these two, when they are not integrated and inauthentic, jealousy is the outcome of a deep, innate violence you carry. Please understand. When somebody expects something from you, when their image about you demands your expansion, but you are not interested in expansion, the violence you show towards them is jealousy. Then you say, why should I expand? See, my level people, I am much better than them. Jealousy starts only to justify you in the beginning. Then it becomes a violence to declare your supremacy. Jealousy does not start as a supremacy. It always starts as justification. But when you finished justifying everything, it's like to win your enemy, you create an army. After your enemy is destroyed, there's no job for your army. Then you go on to the next country just to give a job for your army, just to keep your army occupied. Same way, jealousy starts to justify your inauthenticity and goes on and on. Once all the justifications are over, now you start offending, means declaring supremacy. The comparison is used to declare supremacy. How many of you feel in your life also the comparison and jealousy has started only as a justification process of your inauthenticity. Raise your hand. How many of you are able to cognize this idea? Yes. Jealousy started in my life for justification of my inauthenticity. Justification of your inauthenticity makes the complication you will never be able to get into authenticity. You will never be able to get into authenticity. Because the layer of authenticity has become double. See, if the inauthenticity alone exists, at one point you can clear it. But now a strong bolting of inauthenticity in the name of justifications. Just now I was sitting with some of my ashramites. A very beautiful meeting with some of my brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. I am always in my best when I sit with my kids. Because you will see my father dimension of not giving up on people. Today what I spoke, each one of them are hearing from me at least for last 6 years. But with a deep patience, I'll be repeating it, reminding it, re-emphasizing it. Just like how I have done that to me. From the age of 12 to 22, I was continuously reminding my enlightened state to my biomemory. Because I did not give up on me for 10 years, and I reminded myself, I know million ways mind will justify the non-remembrance, and I know millions of solutions through which I can remind to my mind to be in remembrance. Because I fought with my mind and conquered it with million ways, I can easily remind my disciples any number of complications they bring, any possible complications they bring. When I sit with them, I clearly remember the Brahma Sukhi in me. That was the name I was using. Till 12, I was called as Swami. I was never called by my parental name. Never. I was addressed by my parental name by anybody other than my school record. From 12 to 22, the Brahma Sukhi was the name I was carrying, which was given by Kuppammal. I feel that personality is sitting in front of me as my disciples. I did not give up on that personality. If I would have given up on him, Nityananda would not have happened. Nityananda happened because I did not give up on him. Same way, I am not going to give up on these guys. Just now I was sitting and talking. The ideas I was sharing with them is very useful for all of you. I wanted all of you to listen. When there is an inauthenticity in you, you only pull down by others' inauthenticity. If there is an authenticity in you, You raise others from their inauthenticity. Let me define, listen. If there is an inauthenticity in you, you get pulled down by others' inauthenticity. If you are completely authentic, you raise others from their inauthenticity. I'm giving you a few seconds for you to internalize. When you are not authentic and you wanted to justify your inauthenticity, you use comparison as a justification tool. I was telling them, you go on justify your inauthenticity by comparing all the other fellows. Oh, why should I stretch me more than this? I am better than him. I am better than her. I am better than she. But you have not given up your life for them or he or she. You have to make your life success. You have to make your enlightenment. Jealousy starts as justification, ends as declaration of supremacy. It starts in you to justify your inauthenticity. The moment you learned to justify your inauthenticity, you have started committing suicide. You just need to be buried, nothing else. Your destruction has started. For God's sake, at least don't justify your inauthenticity. Don't be inauthentic. If you are, at least don't justify your inauthenticity. Stand exposed, naked to your own inauthenticity, even though it is little difficult. Face it. Stand by it. Standing exposed to your naked inauthenticity makes you authentic. Listen, this is going to solve thousands of your problems. When you are inauthentic, you will not want to expand you to others' image about you. Then what you will do? You will carry impractical image about others, expectation about others, just to teach them a lesson. You fellow, you expect that from me. You will see now what I will expect from you. This clash is comparison and jealousy. How many of you are able to cognize with what I am saying? Do you understand? Actually, when there is a expectation from others, image of others about you, first thing what you should do, you should be authentic enough. If you feel like you have, by stretching yourself, you are going to expand, you should do it. Or at least you should be complete enough to remind yourself that is not the direction I am going to be fulfilled. For example, if somebody has an image of me as a Shiva, that I should heal them and give them boon, then naturally I am going to expand me, stretch me and fulfill. I'll stretch myself to their image about me. But if somebody expects as an image of me, I should give 100 century in cricket, little more than Tendulkar, I am not going to do it. Understand? Listen. The anyakara which is falling in tune with your ahankara and mamakara, which expands your ahankara and mamakara, only is expected to be fulfilled by you. Jnanatma, clear? For the question with which you are hunting my head? Last 2 days, these guys are hounding me with this question. I am having a very beautiful last few days. All the ashramites constantly nagging me for the deeper and deeper understanding for authenticity and integrity. It feels so nice. It really feels so nice, because the way they ask the question, I know they already contemplated about it. Listen. What I feel as my mamakara, I am a pure consciousness. What I show as my ahankara, I am here to transmit that to you. Then what is the anyakara you guys have? You think sometime I am Shiva, sometime I am Krishna, sometime I am Devi, sometime I am Muruga. So many anyakaras you have. So, if I fulfill your anyakara, is it in align, going to fulfill my ahankara and mamakara? If it is yes, I have to stretch me. If your anyakara about me fulfills in alignment with my ahankara and mamakara, so I stretch, I fulfill. Suddenly you come and think, I should give 100 century for India cricket team. That is your anyakara, your expectation about me is no way in alignment with my feeling of me and my projection about me to you. So naturally, I am not going to stretch me to your image about me. Understand? This clarification, to which image about you you should stretch, to which you don't need to stretch, will come only if you are clear about your ahankara and mamakara. So first things first, completion with you. Clear? How many of you had this question? To which Anyakara I should fulfill, which I should drop? Now clear? Now you will know very clearly which Anyakaras you should be authentically stretching. Understand? If I don't stretch myself to somebody's expectation of me being Shiva or Krishna or Vishnu, I'll die. I will not be living. That direction, Anyakaras, I go on, I am going to stretch myself. That is why I tell you, even after I leave the body, my Sangha is going to become like a Sai Baba's movement. Like Shirdi Sai Baba. Shirdi Sai Baba, see his movement. Why? Because he is sitting and stretching himself to every person's Anyakara. So I am going to be sitting. While in this body or after leaving this body, I will be sitting and go on stretching myself. To everybody's Anyakara about me. So naturally, if you expect me to be like Shiva, I'll appear like Shiva. If you expect me like Vishnu, I'll appear like Vishnu. Because that is in alignment with what I feel as me and what I project as me. All over the world, how many of you had this doubt? Which image about me I should fulfill and which I should not fulfill? Raise your hand. So now all of you are clear? Which you should fulfill and which you don't need to bother. Listen. Sometime, even, relax, you can leave your, even if their image about you has to be fulfilled authentically, it is in alignment with your ahankara and mamakara, even then you feel violent towards them. Why? Why should I stretch me to you? Come on, now I'll show you. You try to torture me with your expectation, I'll torture you with my expectation. Husband wants love, wife wants money. You expect me to continuously be loving, now I will torture you with my expectation. Marriage is like a workshop. Husband works, wife shops. No offense, please don't be offended. But women knows whatever fun I make about them, they don't feel offended at all, because see, even now, a simple decision I made, sending Swamis to offer respects to that Swami who passed away, I tell them very clearly, no, the image, even the statement you give, the image you project should be very clear from the beginning. Why do you think I put Devi in the same deity? Our Anandeshwara, main deity, why do you think I put the Devi in the lap? I did not put I could have put the Devi separately as the two deities. Even while you do Abhishekam, you will pour the milk first on this Shiva, and the remaining little bit only will go to the Devi if it is a separate deity. That is why I decided, no, keep as one deity, so equally it is poured. So when I send even a sannyasini, I am very clear. I have always two sannyasinis also, so that people should know from Dhyanapeetham, sannyasinis exist and they will always be there in any public appearance. Listen, let's come to the subject. Jealousy is a violent expression you express due to inauthenticity, a violent expression of inauthenticity which starts for the survival by justification, which evolves as hiding mechanism of your inauthenticity and ends as declaration of supremacy. It takes birth as a justification of your inauthenticity. It serves as a protection cover, hiding cover of your inauthenticity. It ends as the just declaration of supremacy. How many of you are able to cognize this truth? Can you do this as assignment? Just few minutes. See how jealousy in you has started for justification. In how many places you used jealousy to justify you. Second, in how many places you used jealousy to cover your inauthenticity, to defend your inauthenticity. Oh, you expect that from me? I will teach you a lesson by expecting this from you. So this way, defending, protecting your inauthenticity. When these two jobs are over, then your jealousy goes to the extreme of declaring supremacy. With the declaration of supremacy, death happens. That's the last nail in your coffin. Declaration of supremacy is the last nail in your coffin. That is why I am very clear. I am the incarnation of super consciousness, not supreme consciousness. Because the word supreme consciousness is declaration of supremacy. It comes from violence. Even though super consciousness is supreme consciousness, the word comes out of violent declaration of supremacy. I make sure the violent declaration of supremacy is avoided in every interaction. Just 5-minute assignment. Please look in. At least 2 examples for each. Your jealousy starting as a justification mechanism, your jealousy being used as a defending mechanism of your inauthenticity, your jealousy declaring your supremacy. When you finished your justification and people are tired, they feel they are all subdued, you are justified, and you defended your inauthenticity, they accepted it. Then next step is declare your supremacy. Just 5 minutes or 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, okay. Just 2 examples. Everybody has written at least 2 examples for all these 3. So 3 situations. Listen. Just now I explained the same example, our life example. She says, if I feel, no, of course she's not, the situation. If she feels jealous to somebody I am giving more attention, the first step, she justifies, oh, me and she are both are equal, but why is he giving more attention to her? Justification. Instead of stretching herself to my expectation image, she justifies. Then defending. The moment she justified to herself, to others, X and me are same, but X gets attention and not me. Now defending her inauthenticity. She will never stretch herself to my expectation, my image about her. She will say, he has to alter, not me. Defending. If her defense is also successful, then declaring supremacy. I am much better than this guy. Who is he to give attention to her more than me? Who cares for his attention? Get lost. Declaring supremacy. Understand? I am giving you one life example. Let me listen to at least 2-3 people's life examples. Come on. So that all these 3 people understand. See, when you justify, you tell very clearly to yourself and others, hey, what way she is better than me? Why is she getting more attention? You go on comparing your quality with her quality and justify, justify, justify. And even if you feel she is little better than you in some things, even if she is better, he should be equivalent to both. He should not be giving more attention. And sometimes you know you are lower than her, then you say, you should be a Dina Dayala, Abad Bandava, protector of the poor. You manipulate, the manipulation. Protector of the poor. If he does not protect the poor, who will protect? So you manipulate and justify. That is the first step. It is like a fill the gaps. Then the foundation is defending your inauthenticity. And then the building is declaration of supremacy. But the base itself will shake with earthquake. Listen, this 3 steps. How you justified your jealousy. Because with justification, you give birth. When that becomes the defensive mechanism, it grows. When it declares a supremacy, it is in its peak.
Swamiji, this situation was when I was working for Microsoft, the last job I had, where I went through a really rough patch, and the truth of the matter is I wasn't able to rise up to that occasion. Now I justified it with various things, such that, oh, I was pregnant, I was nursing, it was a bad economy, the organization wasn't supportive, etc. But that is what I used, the fact that all these things existed.
Justification.
All those were justification. And then as I see it, I quit the job, and then I realized that the entire spiritual path I'm treading is actually a way of declaring my supremacy over the fact that that wasn't successful for me.
Oh.
So while the truth is also there that it is a quest, and I feel very connected to it, there is a part which is I'm out to prove that, guess what, this has made me healthier, this has made me more stress-free, this has let me live a better life than all you people in Microsoft. So there is a part of that. That's
supremacy. Yes. Now understand, unless you are complete with that part which is trying to declare supremacy, you will never be able to inspire and help people. Understand? Because in your heart, the supremacy is just sitting with a veil of enriching people. You are not enriching. Understand? You are, few words you will talk about enriching, then within that few words, that veil will come out, you will declare your supremacy, and the other fellow will see who is sitting inside. Oh, this is a goat wearing a tiger skin, not the tiger itself. Because the skin will fall for few minutes. In few minutes. Understand? So now you have to be very clear, complete. Do sit with yourself and talk to yourself and declare you are not a failure by dropping the job. Maybe that time you were not able to cope up with those things. Now let us learn to cope up with those things. You are not a failure, so you don't need to prove you are a success. As long as you think you are a failure, you have to prove your success. Heal the truth, you are a failure. Heal it, complete it, you are not. Even if you have failed, you are not a failure. You failed, but you are not a failure. You failed does not make you a failure. Understand? Anybody else? Real life situation. Please come out. Yes. Mic. Please switch on the mic.
The one that I'm trying to explain here is something what happened between me, my sister and my family. I was always under the impression that they are giving more lenience to my sister. And
No. Please loud.
that they are giving more lenience or love to my sister. And that my mother is expressing herself more with, she being a female kid. And that she was not, that emotional to me.
But usually mothers are always attached to sons. Fathers are only to daughters.
In my case, I was always, trying to find out or justify myself that, they are doing this, so they are doing more towards them. But only
Now, all
today
my
morning
brahmacharis have that problem. He attends only to his daughters.
So today morning, yesterday night when we did that exercise, I quickly realized it, and after a few discussions with my fellow, participants, I quickly called both my parents and apologized to them for what I did.
Okay.
Thanks for this.
So no, can you give a situation or a understanding about these three? How you justify and how you defend your inauthenticity and how you declare the supremacy of your inauthenticity.
I think one of the foolish things what I did was I tried to measure their love. That's purely foolishness. That's nothing but foolishness. And after that I started measuring, they acted this way, but I am actually more, the right thing is that we take the shelter of the responsibility of the word responsible. No, I am more responsible. I am man, so I have to take care of them. That's all, I started calculating and I was continuously on the wrong path and
Great. Come on. Anybody else? Atma, you must be having for all these three situations. Come on. Tell the story.
In one of the department which I worked, Swamiji, I had a problem with my co-ashramite. It's like you expected me to be a bit mature, but at that time I was not able
You are
to
capable of becoming matured.
At that time, I was not able to stretch myself, stretch up to your Anyakara. Because of that, I came out from the department. By that, I was like, I supported myself that I did my best, but I didn't realize that I can do even more.
Understand? Fulfilling my Anyakara about you is surrender to me. People go on claiming, I surrender me to you. I surrender to you. Oh Guru, I surrender to you. Sharanagati Prabhu, Sharanagati. I am defining Sharanagati, understand? Anybody who thinks you have surrendered to me, fulfilling my Anyakara, is surrendering to me. If not, you are asking me to surrender to you. No, I surrender to you. You should be doing as I want you. It means what? So I have to fulfill your Anyakara. So I have to surrender to you. So all surrender is dangerous. You understand? Now how dangerous is the disciples' surrender? No, they say, I surrendered to you. Now you should behave as I wanted. You should have been God for me. Declaring the supremacy of your inauthenticity. First understand. Jealousy starts as the justification of your inauthenticity. It grows as a defense mechanism of your inauthenticity. It thrives as the declaration of the supremacy of your inauthenticity. The moment you declare the supremacy, jealousy has already become cancerous. It has become cancerous. Now, let's go to the next tattva. Whenever there is inauthenticity in Anyakara, you end constantly comparing yourself and your life with others. Please understand. Listen. When others image about you, if you decide not to stretch yourself to that and not to complete with that, please understand, even if you don't stretch yourself to their Anyakara, for example, somebody expects me to be Shiva. I am going to stretch me. Somebody wants me to play the role of Tendulkar. I am not going to stretch me to that, but I am not going to hurt him. I am going to complete with him. Why did you expect that from me? I did not prepare me to do that role for you in your life. And I never even gave an iota of confidence or the promise to you that I will fulfill your expectation of me in that line. So I am going to complete with him. But many times you neither fulfill nor interested in completion. You just disregard. Understand, anybody you disregard hits back to you, hits back at you. Do not disregard anybody's Anyakara. Indifference to Anyakara is inauthenticity. Understand? Every Anyakara comes to you as a boon. When you stretch yourself to something, you express extraordinary powers. When you complete with something, you express peace and contentment. The person who expects me to play the Tendulkar role, when I complete with him, no, I will not be able to fulfill because I do not commit in that line, and I am going to stretch myself in a different line. When you complete, you are peaceful with yourself and others. If you are indifferent, what do you mean telling me to play centuries? 100 centuries. Is that a life? Come on, see what I am doing. I am Shiva. See how many people experience Shiva in me. You expect just Tendulkar from me? No. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Then he is going to throw the ball on me, whether I am going to kick it to sixer or not. He is going to throw the ball on me. Whether I am going to kick the ball or not, ball is going to kick me. It is coming towards me. Either complete it by kicking it, or that is going to kick you. Whenever there is an inauthenticity, in you about others' expectation. See, when I say inauthenticity, you neither want to fulfill nor want to complete. Indifference, disrespect, abusal. That is what I call inauthenticity in dealing with others' image about you. You end up in jealousy, hurting others and you, anger towards others and you, and suffering to others and you. I tell you, just with these basic few truths and basic kriyas to make your brain awakened to these truths, I can remove all psychological sufferings, mental disorders from the world. Please understand, I am not talking out of ego. Authentically, with integrity, I am declaring. We can remove all the psychological sufferings and mental disorders from the world just with these few truths. We should take the responsibility for people to listen. We should take the responsibility for people to be authentic. Whenever your throat center collapses due to jealousy, you operate in life from a very narrow and limited perspective. Will have an experience of continuous desperation, frustration, dissipation of energy, tiredness, constantly shrinking. How many of you feel every year passing you are only shrinking? Then you have the problem, your throat center is collapsing. No. You have to complete your jealousy. You have to sit with yourself. Every year, every passing year, I only feel clearly I am enriching me and enriching others. Especially this year, oh God, the best. I have hit on the lottery of enlightenment. I should actually declare my Sangha starts as a Sangha only this year. With these great truths of Chaturveda, 4 Mahavagyas, Chatur Mahavagyas, integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching. Till now, I was only revealing the mystical components what I brought, like kriyas, yogas, meditation techniques, life solutions. But only now, my Sangha starts. Where I share this treasure with millions. It is literally lottery for me. Every year I feel like this lottery happening in my life. Only if you feel every year lottery is happening in your life is worth living. Or immediately you need completion. Shut yourself and get admitted in Dhyanapidam. And get cured, then leave. I am actually planning. In Salem I am planning to have a very affordable mental health care unit. Very affordable. For a large scale mental health care with these great truths and kriyas. With the mental health care professionals. When your Vishuddhi chakra is awakened, you have the direct access to infinite cosmic energy. When there is an alignment in the Anyakara that you carry about others, and the Anyakara others carry about you, your throat center is awakened. What is the alignment means? The other's image about me, I will either stretch me to fulfill or complete it by saying, I will not be able to fulfill. There is a completion. When there is a completion in others' image about you, your image about others also will come, evolve from that completion. It will not be taking revenge. It will be inspiring, supporting. That is why I tell you, my image about you is only supporting your expansion, not taking revenge on you. Because it comes out of my completion. What I see you, what I see as you, comes from the completion of a completed inner space. A non-violent inner space. So when you stretch it to that, you are fulfilled. I'll answer. Whenever you are complete with all the others' image about you, your image about others will not carry violence, it will be complete. You are free from jealousy. Whether you are completing out of your laziness or your authenticity. That is, say, for example, if somebody expects you to complete a building, you have to fulfill it. Because that is the mamakara and ahankara. Yes. But if somebody expects you, like suddenly if somebody comes and same thing, like cricket, they want you to give 100th century. Even the iota of the 100th century exists in your mamakara or ahankara. Understand? See, your mamakara and ahankara, the leakage of your mamakara and ahankara can be anyakara, but not something completely different. See, the other sanyakara can be the export of your ahankara, mamakara. It cannot be import to your ahankara and mamakara. Listen, others' image about you can be the export of your mamakara and ahankara, can't be the import to your ahankara and mamakara. Export means out of this, but can't be suddenly something out of the blue. When it is out of this, you know you have to fulfill it. When it is out of the blue, you know you have to complete it. So clear? Shall I go to the next Satya? Here is a question from Michael. What about comparison and jealousy that results in feelings of inferiority rather than superiority? Whether declaring supremacy or inferiority, there is no inferimacy word, na? Let's create it. Whether you declare supremacy or inferimacy, it is one and the same. Understand? You declaring supremacy or inferimacy. When you declare inferimacy, you get into the mental setup of victimhood. Being a victim is nothing but declaring inferimacy. You can infringe on me. That is what you declare. When you declare inferimacy, don't blame the people who are infringing on your rights. Los Angeles, Winnie is sending a note. As a child, I wanted to express myself creatively, but my sister was the favorite of my mother and she was supported, and I had to help with that support by taking her to violin lessons. Now my mother offers to help me build wealth, but I reject this because part of me feels she does not deserve my attention. Winnie, many times when you have anger towards others, you punish you. You drink poison to kill your boss. Understand? You drink poison to kill your boss. Kill your boss. Now Winnie, understand. If you are not taking our help to create wealth, then who is going to suffer? You. You may take revenge on her. But with what cost? You are also suffering. It is like even if I lose one eye, it's okay, let her lose two eyes. Shall I move to the next tattva? Next tattva. When there is an alignment in the anyakara that you carry about others and others carry about you, your Vishuddhi is awakened and you start living the third basic satya of responsibility. Listen. When others image about you, your image about others, both are in alignment, suddenly you are inspired to take the responsibility. Responsibility comes and stays with you only if you are inspired. If the responsibility is put on you, you take it for a few days, then dump it in the garage. Let me define responsibility. Responsibility is living and operating from the understanding that you are the source of, and therefore you are responsible for all happenings in and around you in your life. Let me repeat once more. Responsibility means living and operating from the understanding that you are the source of, and therefore you are responsible for all the happenings. Because you are the source of all the happenings in and around you in your life, you are responsible for all the happenings in and around you in your life. I feel like I am taking the inner awakening next level. In and around you. So you are responsible for all the happenings in and around you. Now clear? No, it's so beautiful to drill this tattva into your bone marrow. When you take the responsibility not just for your image about others, but also others' image about you, you expand. I tell you, you express miracle powers in you. This is the science of Siddhis. I'll give you one example. If you want the miracle power of floating on the water, first do one thing. Collect few people with whom your anyakara, your image about them is complete and their image about you is complete. Means either you fulfill what they expect from you or you complete what they expect from you. The complete alignment is there. So sit as a group and declare to them authentically with integrity, I am going to float on the water. Please understand. Keeping Kala Bhairava as witness, I am teaching you the science of miracles. Have few people with whom you are complete and they are complete with you, and declare, I am going to float on the water. Authentically decide you are going to do it. I promise that power will start expressing from you. Because all miracle powers start expressing when your image about others and others' image about you is complete in your life. Don't imagine immediately, oh, these are all remote things, not for me. No. I am talking about possibility. Straight possibility, not impossibility. There is nothing impossible. When I am possible, there is no impossible. No, I am not giving this as a quotation for clapping and just dumping it in a Facebook. No. It's for you. When I am possible, how can be impossible? Anything be impossible. I, the greatest miracle of life. That is why I love me so much. I don't want to lose me. That's the biggest thing I have in my life. This is the biggest thing. All of you know, you are the biggest thing for you. You don't want to lose that. When that biggest thing has happened, when I am possible, how can anything be impossible? For example, if I say, I'll give you the power of floating in the water, will you give up on you? Will you give your life? Will you die? You will say naturally, no. It means what? Then you are the bigger possibility than floating on the water. Am I right? When you have that itself, How can the floating on the water be impossible? Tell me. See, I tell you, all right, I'll give you the power to float on the water. Please die, commit suicide. Will you do? You won't. Because you know that me, I am the biggest possibility. I am the biggest happening. How can I give up that just for floating on the water? Then, when that big possibility itself has happened, why can't the floating on the water can happen? This is a science of miracles, understand? When I have, please understand, whenever I have the disciples who are complete with me and I am complete with them, anything I declare immediately becomes reality. Why sometime after Kalabhairava declares it takes few days for it to become reality? Because the receiver may not be complete. So little completion is required. But Kalabhairava takes the responsibility even for his incompletion and gives that as a boon. At least after the boon is delivered, he should make himself complete. Understand? If Kalabhairava says, it will happen when it happens, then he may do 10 miracles out of 100 reading. But if he declares date, time and everything, he will do 80 miracles out of 100 readings. But the 20 failure is the biggest, the largest way he can stretch his hand is stretched. And they missed. Clear? He can be integrated, but he will not be authentic. Anybody has a doubt? Sometime Kalabhairava blessed, and that day exactly it has not happened. It's still getting delayed. Understand, this is the tattva, truth. Understand? I am not justifying, I am just telling you the truth. I am not justifying, I am just justing. Justifying happens after failure, adjusting happens before entering, justing happens to be the truth. Adjusting, justifying, justing. Usually, you take responsibility based on your understanding of the peak of your energy. I wanted to make you very clear. I wanted to declare it and make you understand. When I started this Sangha, even though I declared it will become an international organization, that was not the peak of my energy at that time. but I declared authentically and decided to stretch me to that. Usually we take responsibility based on our understanding of peak of energy. It is actually other way around. When you take responsibility with integrity and authenticity, the peak of your energy just expands and fulfill the responsibility you have taken up. Understand? With authenticity and integrity, I declared it will become the place to teach and radiate enlightenment science to the world. Enrich people with enlightenment science. I can see the responsibility comes up and fills that, makes it happen. Taking responsibility for everything happening in your life. You will see, you will experience power naturally radiating through you. You don't need a separate boss chair to experience and live the responsibility. Please listen. How you always take responsibility, you think, oh, I can run 2 shops now. I'll take the responsibility of 3 shops. But if you work with authenticity and integrity, you think, hey, I can run 200 shops. And cosmic energy responsibility comes in, fills and makes it as 200 shop. To express power, you don't need throne. You only need to know how to unleash the responsibility energy in you. Once you know how to unleash the responsibility energy in you, your inhaling and exhaling itself will be powerful. We'll do one more exercise that will make you internalize this truth. Please distribute the worksheet. All of you got the worksheet? Scan your whole life and identify the anyakara which others in your life carry about you that leaves you with an experience of conflict with them. That is, identify areas of your life where you feel powerless or experience conflict with others because of the perception or image they carry about you. For example, your spouse always wants you to be with a loving, caring and forgiving attitude, and it seems impossible for you to be that way all the time. And understand, whenever you feel powerless or experience a conflict in your life related to others, perception of the image they carry about you, you are surely not taking responsibility for the perception or image they carry about you. I think better you read the question. All the 5. Three you have to write, 2 you have to practice. Come on, 10 minutes I give you guys time. If needed, I will extend later on. Now 10 minutes. If you are done, please go for a break because we will be having Kriya together. Kriya for Anya and Vishuddhi is together. So if you are finished writing, go for your break. Let's gather for next session. Thank you.